Yeah. So guys, welcome back. So Lee, maybe I'm just curious. So now you have already interacted with your first investor. Now it's about you want to start the work. So maybe you can take us through your technical decisions, your technical journey, from the early periods when you are building Stawika.
Okay. So the first thing we did was to get a specification document.
Okay.
From the client.
Yeah.
And then it had everything outlined.
Okay.
So what to do. And we signed contracts and all the documents needed to start the job.
Yeah.
So and then after that, now we start coding.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did iterations. One to test if really we could communicate with all the APIs or all the systems we wanted, because we needed to have a system for sending SMSs.
Yeah.
One for sending money to customers. So this was B2C. We also had a C2B, which is customer to business, whatever the customers were paying. So we needed all these things to be grouped together. And we did a website, so that we can tell people about the business.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we first started, we started with a monolithic architecture.
Okay. So this monolithic architecture, what would it entail? So it was front end, back end, and the database.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the middleware, which is now the database and the okay.
All bundled into one.
One, okay.
We just said a simple system where we could get the KYC. This is the customer data.
Yeah.
And then register them, see whether they qualify for a facility or a loan from us, and then we disperse them. So all that thing was bundled into one, apart from the app which is the front end, but it still used the same database.
Okay.
Yeah, which we had built back then when we were started.
Okay.
Yeah, because I believe most of the systems start monolithic, and then they go maybe the microservice way.
Okay. All right. So this is how long did it take you to deliver the first product?
It took like 3 to 4 months. We were able to deliver, and we were able to send ourselves loans. Yeah, and we saw it was working. Yeah, you have to test in-house first, send yourself a loan, pay it back, see how it reacts, give yourself a loan, stay with it for a few days, maybe 1 week or a month or two, and see which kind of SMSs or which kind of data you are getting. Yeah, so we tested this, and we were also able to test the load balancer, because we were using
so with the first product you already had you had a load balancer?
One only, because it's so you only have one load balancer, and maybe 1 or 2 servers. Yeah, so but the database is one. Yeah, so it's still a monolithic application.
Okay. So were there any technical debt while you guys were building? Remember, you guys are two engineers, right?
Sure.
So did you guys feel like there's a technical debt
needed?
Yeah.
Oh, not really, because since we were when we were started, we didn't feel the need of expanding the IT the IT department, and we didn't feel there was a technical, because the first few years we were maybe 1,000 users, so which we could handle.
Yeah. So maybe let's stick to the first year. So not even the first year, you're building. This is like the month that you guys are building.
We didn't see any need for a technical
to add any skill.
Yeah, we were.
You guys had the skills that you guys needed to build this.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. What we needed, we could build the two of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is now 6 months. So before we move there, So you've done 6 months, 4 months of building,
2 months of testing.
2 months of testing. So the first 2 months is testing amongst yourselves in house.
Sure. And friends, yeah.
Okay. What challenges did you guys identify?
So the first challenges were the simple web application challenges, like maybe the server. Maybe you build and then during the testing you find, we need to increase the space of a certain server. Since we were using DigitalOcean, so resizing the server was not that big of a challenge. Yeah. So
was it shared hosting?
No, it was dedicated. It was dedicated. We couldn't go with a shared hosting. So from the onset, we started with a dedicated server because we wanted all the information we are keeping to be in-house.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had to expand as we were getting used. After the testing.
Yeah.
This is when we started to encounter this thing.
So what were they? Maybe you can just mention some of the issues that you guys identified when you're still doing internal testing.
So in internal testing, what the challenges we faced, it was maybe some of the APIs could cut. Maybe the Kenyan database which we were using to interact with. We were interacting with Metropole. So they gave us the I think it's called the PRSP. So this is where you query their database.
Okay.
And then
so they were a third party API. So you're querying information from them for
for customer verification.
Oh, KYC. That is PRSP.
PRSP.
They're called IPRS.
IPRS something.
Yes. Okay.
IPRS.
For KYC, yes.
So their APIs were good, so we had to tune our APIs to call the right amount of data. So because
that given you a limitation of how many queries you could make.
No, the queries were not the problem, but the package. So they have the customer data. They have another API for identification, maybe image identification. So it's upon you to decide which endpoint to call.
Okay.
Yeah, so mostly as we were calling the matching, the verification.
Yeah.
So whereby we could match the ID and the names.
And the name, yeah. Okay.
So to make sure this customer who's saying is called John Karanja.
Yeah.
Is he really John Karanja?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we had to fine tune our APIs to make sure we call that.
Okay.
On the back end, maybe as the data kept coming, we could know we could find challenges about the search. You see, when you are searching 100 records, it's different from searching 10,000 records.
Yeah.
So you have to improve on that on the back end side of it. Yeah. So these were some of the challenges, and we were able to solve them as we go.
Okay. All right. Cool. So this is now when you're testing internally.
Yeah.
So what informed you that you guys were ready to go external to the public?
I think when we were able to give loans and people pay.
Okay.
So it's a business which you can say, are you doing business? Are you lending? Are you getting the money back? And is everything working as you expect? Yeah, of course, you can have challenges of maybe a person not receiving a certain SMS. That one you can always sort. But the moment we saw that we could be able to lend and people could be able to pay back without...
This is technically?
Yeah.
Technically the systems will do this?
Yeah, the system will do this.
Okay.
Without going there manually. So we knew we were ready. We could give a few bucks and then get it back and make some money on top. Okay. Yeah. So
just before you go public, the guys that are in the system are the internal staff?
Internal staff, family and friends.
And family and friends. So how once you go public, what were the immediate challenges once you just go live public?
Once we go public, the biggest challenges can be the getting more customers at a go. Like
So at the time you were getting more customers at a go?
no, so once you go public and you advertise yourself out there,
Yeah.
and then maybe you get 1,000 or 2,000 customers
Yeah.
within a few minutes, within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that could be a challenge because maybe the servers or
Bandwidth.
Which you add,
Yeah.
you had not planned for that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't a big challenge on our side, although it happened maybe a day or two, but we were able to sort it. Yeah, so but once you go public, this is something which happens not only to us but
Almost every
business out there which uses technology.
How are you guys? What did you put in place to ensure that you could monitor and track when maybe you were experiencing the challenge speaking about, maybe for bandwidth and traffic?
So first, when we started, we had a system which could get the user statements to our servers. So, but we noticed that this is not the right way to do. So we acquired a space from Zoho. So whereby customers would send their statements, and then all we need to do was to crunch this data and push it to our database in form of data, not like the entire PDF. So this really helped us a lot because there are sometimes, let's say you have a server and it has a small space, and then you're getting statements there.
There's so many.
You see, it can really fill up very quickly.
The storage fills up.
The storage, and once the storage fills up, it affects the flow of calling and pushing data to the API because, like, you need a number of a threshold of space so that it can enable the other services to work without challenges. So we changed that. Now we were sending the statements to an external email and then just crunching it to get the data. So once we get the data, we can now generate the limit from there.
That sounds like a better strategy. I like the strategy. So instead of you handling the statements, you will use a third-party software, which you know is more stable. So you let the customer send their statements there
to an email.
Okay, sure. And then from the email.
So from the email, it was an external. External system which we had built.
Sort of like an automation.
Automation system. So that it takes any
email that has been sent, it picks the attachment.
Exactly.
And then it extracts data from the PDF.
So it extract how much you've sent out through M-Pesa and how much has come in through M-Pesa. So from that we can tell this person is worthy to be given 2,000. Another one is worthy to be given 15,000. So that gives us a limit, a way to know which limit to give this person.
Okay, so I'm imagining you guys have launched. Did you guys make this decision of the Zoho? It's called Zoho, right?
That's the Zoho is a email software.
So email software. So did you guys make that decision before pre going public or after you got public?
This was after we went public.
And then you guys realized that this is going to affect our traffic.
It will affect how the systems are working, and it will affect the traffic. So these are things which you learn as you go.
You go. So you guys are live.
You're live.
How did you guys? Were you guys able to identify immediately? Were you guys using some sort of tool to pick, to know that this traffic is crazy, we need to divert it to somewhere else?
So on the very first time when we started, most of the stuff start manually. So because we had a few customers, we could go in there, check the system, and maybe assign the loan or the limit manually. Say, oh, this customer is worth this amount.
Yeah.
And then some of the customers will call us. And since there are few customers in a day, we could take a phone call, have a conversation with them, and then assign for them a limit. But as time goes, you come to realize that this manual way cannot really work.
Yeah.
So you need to automate things. So that's when we saw that we cannot handle like 500 or 400 customers in a day.
Yeah.
So why can't we make a system which can automate and get this data from their statements directly? So that's when we were able to build the statements system. And from this, we can be able to extract their data and give them a limit.
Okay. What other challenges that you guys experience apart from the statements issue?
So the others maybe could be the server or the database, because as you grow, you need to separate. Even if you're using a monolithic architecture,
Yeah.
there are some data which you had bundled together. You have to separate. Maybe we had to create more tables to accommodate loans. We also had to create other tables to accommodate interests. So because as you grow, you discover, oh, we need a payroll
Module.
facility, or we need a salary advance, or we need a women loan.
Yeah.
So you improve the system as you go, because when you started, we were the founder was for the idea, okay, let's make a business which gives personal loans only. But a few maybe months or years down the line, you're like, oh, we can also lend to companies to give their employees a loan, and then they pay us through their payroll directly. So these are categories you create. So like right now we have the business loan, which is the normal loan we give to businesses. We have the personal loan which we started with. We have the Nawiri, another one called Nawiri loan, and we also have the women loan. So if women would like to get a loan, they have to be in a chama. So these are categories which we build as we went, as the ideas came to us. So every category you add, of course, you'll have to adjust the database. So those were the challenges. Maybe one of the challenge we face, like you add a category and then you alter something from the backend and the database, and also the mobile app.
Okay. So now sounds like the database is DBMS.
Sure.
So it's structured tables.
Yes.
So you guys had to normalize the tables.
Use joins.
A lot. Okay. Were there any challenges as the database grew? Were there any challenges, and what strategies were you able to employ with the database as you guys kept on scaling?
So that's where we come to break things the microservice way.
Okay.
So when the database grew, we thought that we would move from monolithic architecture to a microservice architecture. So this way you could be able to separate every feature with its own database.
Okay.
So maybe we have I was able to build an SMS system instead of the SMS service sending the data to that main database. You create a temporary side database with its own service.
Okay.
So this way we can be able to break the system into parts.
Okay.
And it makes it easy to debug and to scale it. Whenever you want to scale maybe the loan system, the lending system alone, the SMS service will not be affected. So we were able to break the system into different microservices so that we can be able to manage it easily. That was the biggest advantage of breaking the system into a microservice way. And it really helped us a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were the challenges that you guys experienced when you're transitioning from monolithic to microservices?
The database was was I can say it was hell. Like we used to sleep in the office. Eat there and sleep, because I mean, even if you're transitioning, you need to make sure that tomorrow
the service is still working.
The service is still working. A customer can lend and can still pay.
Yes.
So we had to break the database into different parts to make sure the data which comes from the main database is not affected when it goes to a smaller database, because you don't want to call Safaricom and tell them, hey, we just changed our database or our system, please do this and that from your end. No, we wanted to make sure the system remained as it was, but also served the customers as they come. So we had to increase the load balancers and also to get different servers for each maybe service, so that in case maybe one server is out, the other servers or the other services are not affected. So I can say the biggest challenge of migrating from one database to many databases is the data migration. But we were able to accomplish it and to preserve the data. I can proudly say that since we started since we started with the first user 2016 up to now, we still have that data on our systems, and it has not been affected in any way whatsoever. The data is still intact. The only change which has been there is we have been able to separate. So if you input a next of kin during your onboarding process, you can have that in a different database from the main database. You can have the interest rates from one the loans microservice in one system, and the maybe the Nawiri product in another microservice. So that's one thing I'm very grateful about.
Okay, cool. Right, sounds like there were a lot of lessons here.
Yeah, there were a lot.
Maybe you can just highlight, because did you have the skill earlier on microservices, or it's something that you had to?
It's something I had to learn along the way.
Okay.
Because dealing with this Docker, Kubernetes, RabbitMQ, it's not something. When we started building the system, I didn't know what those were. So I had to learn about fast deployment using CI/CD pipelines, so that whenever you push your service or your code on Bitbucket or GitHub, it goes straight. It goes straight to live. So you have to tell. You will have to tell the system what to do. But this is something which you learn over time. And also you have to be good. It has really taught me a lot, because there are some things like DevOps I didn't know when I started coding, but right now I can manage a Linux server, can manage an AWS server, and I can link things together and to make them work as one.
Okay. Did you guys ever move to cloud, or did you remain that on dedicated?
So we have moved some services to cloud.
Okay.
So also DigitalOcean also provides some cloud services. So we have been able to host some services on the cloud. So, but we are still, most of the stuff is on dedicated.
Maybe a question: why would someone choose to have hybrid, that is combination of dedicated and cloud, and not fully cloud, for example, from your experience?
So from my experience, I think there are some applications which work better when they are in the cloud. and some work better when they are undedicated.
Yeah.
So we noticed this, and we try to use APIs to just link them so that they can work as one. Yeah, but I think it's a matter of preference. So there are some people who decide, let me just remain at one place as long as things are working. Yeah, but the reason why we do that is to have that fast deployment.
Yeah.
Because if you tell a customer you will be down for maybe 12 midnight to 2 in the morning,
Yeah.
that's a 2-hour window. You need to make sure that you don't let him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the fast deployment, I think it works better. On my side, I think it works better on cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's fast. And also because we are using different databases for different microservices.
Yeah.
Some clouds, maybe Redis, you can find Redis works faster maybe when you are in a cloud than when you are using dedicated.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right, that's amazing. So maybe I have a question that I think it's important to go about to ask, which is I hope I don't lose it. I had it in my mind. It's kind of disappeared.
Oh, no problem.
So if you were to give advice in terms of cost, why would someone choose cloud over dedicated or hybrid?
Okay, so it really depends with your infrastructure, first of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say one is cheaper or one is more expensive than the other, but it also depends on what you're doing.
Okay.
So, for example, when you want to do maybe push SMSs,
Yeah.
you can use an external company.
Yeah.
Yeah, so which does that for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but for dedicated, I think I would, on my side, I prefer dedicated because you have the power.
Okay.
Because you create everything from the ground up. The VMs, the Docker containers, the servers, you install the Linux inside of it. So you have the power. You control it from there.
Self-managed, yeah?
Yeah, so we even had an email system.
Yeah.
It's an email system we created from scratch instead of using the likes of Gmail or Yahoo. So you can create your own emailing system in-house. So it keeps data. It keeps data for you.
For audit.
For audit, and also you can send and receive messages. It's like building your own Gmail inside a dedicated server.
Okay.
Which is really I found it's really awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, so on which one is better, I can't really say. Yeah, but it depends with what you want to do. Your infrastructure is a large.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you guys had fun and learned something. Thank you, Lee Maze.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
It was a pleasure, man. Thank you guys, and hope you guys will catch us on another video. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.